Hello YouTube, what's up? Today's February 19th, it's Saturday, it's a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. We have a new blog that we're going to be going over today. It's called the Obsidian Files. And it was written by a guy or girl named Obsidian. We don't know. He didn't put his name, he goes by the Obsidian. And just a heads up, the link is in the description below. And I highly suggest to go over the article and read it yourself because there's a lot to unpack. And I won't be going over all of it. Okay? So the title is called Women Are the New Men Now. And it was written on Saturday, January 15th, 2011. Okay? Now the main premise that I'm getting from this article is the fact that the writer believes that women will have to start becoming the new men. Okay? So what does he mean by that? So for example, he's stating that in the dating field, right, in the sexual marketplace, you have men meeting women and you have women meeting men. For the men who want to meet women, he is declaring that it has become too expensive, or in other words, too much work to go ahead and try to claim a woman or get with a woman, right, or to get into a relationship with a woman. Let's go with that. And so he's saying, right, so basically, so he's saying, well, what would women have to do about this, right? Because from the man's perspective, you know, they're willing to go in, do the whole dating scene, spend the money, you know, do what they got to do. But they're finding out that they're not able to, I guess, have sex with the woman that they're pursuing, right? So eventually it becomes a point of, okay, well, I've taken you out, I've paid for this, we've gone here, but still nothing, right? So there's starting to be a trend of, well, let's go spend our time elsewhere, right? And the writer gives a brief example of how there's a new Call of Duty game that came out during the time, and he was saying that, well, if men no longer feel it's worth it to pursue and put in attention to women, well, they'll just go ahead and do something that they actually enjoy doing, and playing the video game Call of Duty was the example, right? So if this is the case, what will women have to do, right? So he believes that women have to become the new men. So let me give an example that I came up with. Let's say there are 100 girls in a room, right? And there's a random number assigned to them, and it's and that number depicts their social value on a scale of 1 through 10. Right, so you have 10s over here, you got 1s over there, anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 10. Right. Now he's saying, or not he's saying, excuse me. And so in this example, all of these women want a man, let's say, that is a scale of 7 through 10. Right? So if a 3 approaches a 3, or a 3 approaches a 10, if the women realizes that the man that's approaching them is not in the number range of 7 to 10, they don't really want to settle. Maybe they'll mess around, you know, they'll have a fun time, enjoy themselves, but they don't want a relationship unless they're 7 to 10. So what happens with all the males in that room who are, let's say, a 1 through 6? Well, because they're not getting what they want out of the situation, they're gonna go spend their time elsewhere. So now you have a room where all the hottest chicks, right, all the 7 to 10s hooked up with the male 7 to 10s, but now you have all the rest of the women who are in the room who are like, yo, where are all the men at? And all the men that were trying to get with them went to go do something else because they value the time and they don't want to deal with this, right? So that's what the writer means by too much work. So his solution to this, right, is that women have to make the first move, right? That's something that women are going to have to start doing, right? Or even at the very least, putting some investment into the relationship. And that could be seen as making the first move, or maybe paying for the first date, or, you know, saying, hey, like, you know, just putting something out there, right? Throw the ball into the men's court, all right? So, with that being said, there was a brief discussion in the article saying that women do not want to make the first move, all right? So if that's the case, fine. So how do how do the women who aren't as hot as the women who are getting the men they want become hotter? Right? So they do, I don't know, they decide to do things to make them look better, right? Dress a certain way, maybe lose some more weight, or maybe put on better makeup. But after a certain point, you can only max out, right? So for those that are able to elevate, good, great for them. But those who elevated and are still under like the requirement, they're gonna have to go back and start realizing that they do still need to make the first move. So this brings me up to the second thing that I got out of this article was, and we can quote right here, women are the new men now. They can't pull up short when it's convenient. They have to go all the way. That means a full-on role reversal, approaching, risk being rejected, and you already talked about peacocking and paying for dates and outings from the outset, right? So basically now he's saying, well, they maxed out their beauty, but they still don't want to approach. Well, there's really nothing you can do, right? I mean, there'll be some, I guess, stragglers from both parties still doing, still trying to meet. But it would seem that the majority of people are just going to be staring at each other, right? So, like, for example, I think in a Steph's Code video, he once stated that he saw a chick that was bad, but he wasn't going to make the first move, right? And he doesn't have to, that's fine. But the thing is, the woman would look at him, he would look at her, vice versa, and they'd be looking at each other all day, but no one made a move, right? Let's call that the stalemate. Well, the idea to get out of the stalemate is that women have to realize that if they want to be perceived as the equal sex, well, then they can also do all the things that men currently do to pursue them, to pursue men. Does that make sense? So they're going to have to, as quoted, they're going to have to approach, risk being rejected, peacock themselves, pay for dates, you know what I mean? And the problem is that, according to the article, many women still believe that what's in between their legs is enough, that they don't have to do anything else, right? They don't have to be the men. And granted, I don't think women really want to be the men. I do believe they want to be pursued. And for me personally, I would pursue. But I guess at the same time, I don't mind being pursued. Though I might, personally, I think it will come across as weird because I don't want to be with a woman who is pursuing me. Do you know what I mean? There has to be a balance. Like if they just throw the ball in my court to say, hey, I'm here. And I like what I see and I like, their personality. Okay, then I pursue. But if they're pursuing me constantly, and gonna come across as a little weird, you know what I mean? And so, because women believe that what they have in between their legs is enough, they kind of just don't want to do anything else. But the reality of the situation is that it's no longer enough. It's like, what more can you offer me, right? If you want me to get with you for whatever reason, don't just believe that what's in between your legs is enough, because it's no longer enough. What else can you bring to the table? All right. And so, guys, I just want to, reiterate, please read the entire article. There's a lot of interesting things in here. And I think it's mind-boggling that, this was written in 2011 and it's still relevant to today. Okay. But all in all, I want you to thank you for being here. Please subscribe and like. If you're new to the channel, show some love. I appreciate you. And most importantly, please comment down below. What are your opinions on this article? Well, how can you relate what's happening today to what this guy or girl is talking about, 10, 11, 12 years ago? Let's trying to make connections, right? So, again, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Stay blessed. I'm out.